Good morning and welcome to another beautiful Thursday morning, the 6th of February 2025. I just hope you had a very restful night and today is another good day for us. I believe that God is working something good for us. All right, I have a piece of information for us this morning. And I want to believe it's going to bless your heart, just as we are in expectation of what God promised us through the Sanctuary Wealth Multipurpose Foundation Initiative Program. We believe that very soon is going to get to our doorstep. And for those, I'm only talking to believers right now, all right? So when we say this, I know that there are those that this is not sitting down well with them. But at the same time, we just have to get along and believe that we that are constant, ardent believers on this perspective, we will definitely reach a conclusive end and in a short while. So I want to talk about a little bit the disbursement and then the silence, the strategy of the county director and what we must understand. You get to this channel because you subscribe to this channel just because you believe that you could get regular updates from here, and we could update you on trending matters when it has to do with this grant ecosystem, especially from the grant handlers. So I want to say that the long-awaited UAAG grant disbursement has taken a turn that many did not expect. And over the past few weeks, there has been, will I say weeks now? More than months now, there has been a noticeable silence from the county director. A silence that has sparked a wave of speculations, concerns, and even frustrations among some beneficiaries who have been waiting patiently for updates. However, after closely observing the situation, it has become evident that this decision was not made lightly. It wasn't made lightly from all indications. Why did the county director go silent? So from all indication, the county director chose to distance himself from the public and even from those who were once part of his inner circle. And the primary reason is what? Some have betrayed him. Let me use the word betrayal. The level of backstabbing, misinformation, and sabotage he has experienced from certain individuals around him, I guess, well, I might be wrong, but I think I might not be too far from the truth. This is from my own perspective. So this is in perspective. It doesn't mean that you should take it. If it is not altogether truth, there'll be an iota of truth there. So the level of backstabbing, misinformation, and the level of sabotage that he has experienced from certain individuals around him might have reached some breaking point that is forcing him to take a step back and shut down all direct communication channels to a certain extent. It doesn't mean that we still don't have some out of information or air of information from some close allies close to him, but it's not as is expected as we wanted it. Now, for anyone that is leading a massive project of this nature, betrayal can be a significant setback. And when people you once trusted begin working against you, feeding false information to the public, and attempting to derail the process, the best move might be to go silent. You might have to re-strategize and focus solely on achieving the goal. But then, while some might misinterpret his silence as abandonment or reluctance to move forward with the grant, those who understand how delicate such financial these financial disbursements are, they would definitely realize that keeping a low profile may actually be the smart move at this point. So success often requires discretion, requires, especially when you're surrounded by forces that may not wish to see things go as planned. So success requires discretion. It also requires diligence and proactiveness. And rather than viewing his silence as a cause for concern, it should be seen as a calculated move, a calculated attempt towards fruition and towards finally bringing the grant into completion. And in situations like this, less talk and more actions can be the difference between the failure that people don't expect and the success that the people expect. So if removing unnecessary distractions and keeping things confidential will enable him to complete the disbursement process successfully, I think then it is a decision that is worth supporting. I personally think at a time like this, it's a decision that is worth supporting. This is not the first time in history that leaders handling sensitive financial distractions have chosen silence as a defense mechanisms. Many governments had to take a similar approach to ensure that their projects also succeed despite oppositions. And sometimes the noise and the pressure from the public can do more harm than good. So keeping things under wraps or under close confines until the right moment is essential. I got to realize that there are certain individuals that wants to travel abroad, even some friends very close, and they want to travel abroad. They don't tell anybody about it. Until they get there, they call you with a foreign number. You're like, oh, who is calling you from whether UK or US? And when you say hello, it happens to be your best man. You say hello, it happens to be your close brother, your close ally, but he never tells you that he's traveling abroad. Why do they do that? Is it because they hate you? Sometimes, like they say, silence is golden, and sometimes the words that we speak, in fact, it's not sometimes, the word you speak is spiritual. The words that you speak out is spiritual. And for only spiritual people understand the sensitive nature of what comes out of your mouth. You could hear it, but you couldn't see it. And that makes us spirit beings. Individually, that makes us, we are spirits. We're only covered in heap of bag of Nigerian sand. This flesh is a limitation we have, but our spirit is unlimited. So sometimes you utter certain words out, and the devil begins to bring it out and malign it and reform it, and before you know, he has caused a wreck and a havoc concerning that. So the danger of misinformation and also speculations from this angle we're talking about, one of the biggest challenges that have risen from this situation is the spread of rumors and misinformation, sometimes even amongst the grand ecosystem, with no direct updates from the country director himself. Many individuals have begun to draw their own conclusions, and some of which are completely fallacies, they are false. The social media space in particular is a breeding ground for misleading information. Some individuals, either out of impatience or for their own selfish interests, they spread false narratives. They claim that the grant has been cancelled, that there is nothing like money, no fund anywhere. At some point, they spread the pictures and spread some voice note that says, Lord, I'm with the county director, and he said he has no money to pay. Then some people's BP rose. You mean I've waited for 7 years with no money to pay? What about my investment in the scheme? What happens to it? So spreading of malicious information, false information, has made certain people to be less than who they ought to be. because of their expectations. You see? Yet that was never real to begin with. Before you know, they will say the county director has fled the country. And I think there was a rumor like that one time. Yes, there was a rumor like that one time that they said that the county director has left the country with his family. Then he has to come out. He has to come out. That was the time, something must bring the county director out. He came out and debunked the news. He said, well, I'm still around. I don't know whether I was in Lagos or Abuja, but he said, I'm still around. I didn't go anywhere. I had to come out to declare to the public that I have nowhere to run to. Nigeria is my country, and I will stay here until the grant is disbursed. None of these claims are true. Misinformation, backstabbing, sabotage, and all that. So you wouldn't so blame this man if he goes silent at a point like this, even silent to some close allies very close to him. I've advocated many times on a voice note for the county director to speak, but after a while I had to sit down and also think about this strategy. It's a strategy. And this is why it is more important than ever to be careful about the information that we consume, the information that we share. Instead of relying on hearsay, we must depend on credible sources that have direct link to the process. So stay informed. A commitment to regular updates is very important. Understanding the frustrations and the concerns of our ailing beneficiaries, we are committed to ensure that you stay informed with the latest credible updates, still from the sources of the inside men. All of this little information that we have had, majorly the county director has broadcast will take care of everything that we are in expectation of. But before then, there are ample informations that come from our credible sources also. And we just have to, since the county director has chosen to remain silent at a time like this, is now up to those who have access to reliable information to bridge the communication gap so that we are not altogether left in silence or in the dark. And we will continue to monitor the situation closely and provide verified updates as they become available for us. However, one thing that we must all acknowledge is that patience is key. Disbursements of this magnitude do not happen overnight. It is a complex process that involves various financial, legal, and logistical considerations. Sometimes it appears we are reaching the end of it, then at some point it appears like there is a shot that triggered it again a little bit further forward. But then, no matter how much it dwindles and waver, we would reach the destination. That is what matters. That is what matters. So if we all remain calm, avoid unnecessary panic, and trust the process, we will eventually see the results we have been waiting for. The most important thing right now is that the disbursement process is still in motion. So regardless of the silence, regardless of the speculations, regardless of the betrayers, the process is in motion. And to the beneficiaries now, I think I have something to tell you. While it is understandable to feel uneasy due to the lack of direct communication from that source you expected the most, we must remind ourselves that the bigger picture is still intact. The fact remains that the grant is real and the process is ongoing. The silence from the county director does not mean abandonment. It means strategy. That is what I want you to know. It means strategy. All right, this is Prince's Seed Channel. Before I continue, this is Prince's Seed Channel, the channel with legitimacy. In case you've not subscribed to our channel, come on, do that right now. You just have to do that right now so that you don't miss out on regular updates. We deal with grants and other financial stuff that could earn you stability. So do that right now. I'll just be with you in a short while. Don't touch the dial. Thank you and welcome back. So don't forget that we give you regular updates on a regular basis concerning our expectations, and I want to believe that by God's grace we will reach a conclusive decision when it comes to staying in the grand ecosystem or moving away in a very short while. All right, so rather than focusing on the lack of updates, you need to channel your energy towards staying positive. Spread only verified information and remain patient. Remain patient. Those who are truly meant to receive this grant will receive it when the time is right. And you know, this is the truth and nothing but the truth. Those who are truly meant, I'm talking about the eligible ones, the real. Now, don't let it surprise you. A lot of personalities or persons are waiting for this disbursement, but as a surprise, not everybody will receive. Let's just tell ourselves the truth. Not everybody will receive, but you would receive, as long as you are eligible and you've done things in the right perspective. Every of your details are intact, and your bank account is intact, is not passive, is not dormant, and your NGO is still intact, and they have not short-circuited your name or removed your name from the list or maligned the list. But if everything is intact, you'll be unstoppable. Nothing will stop you from receiving your grant. So for now, let us continue to stand together. Let us support the process and trust that everything is working out behind the scenes. Success is near, and the waiting will not be in vain. I want you to stay informed, stay patient, stay hopeful. The disbursement is coming. Subscribe to our channel, and I will see you right about there shortly. Have a nice day ahead of you.